Hello guys, this is how to make a epic wall for your bases, for your strongholds, because typically people will stick to these regular fence walls, but I'm going to show you how you can build these Goliath structures that are they're a lot better to protect your bases against like troll attacks and you know, all sorts of drago skeletons, stuff like that. So I'm going to show you a little quick tutorial with how you can make a very basic but solid wall foundation that kind of looks like something you'd find in Skyrim or maybe other Viking games. Well, Skyrim's not really Viking, but it's got a lot of Nordic influence on it. So firstly, of course, make sure you build on a relatively flattish piece of land. And I'm going to build right here because this is where I'm going to build my farm. So I'm going to make sure this is all as flat as possible. So I will get back to you when that's done. Okay, now because this is a rock solid wall, which requires a stone cutter, by the way, and I will show you exactly how to place the stone cutter down to make sure you've got maximum radius. You will need to use the stone bricks, and the stone bricks do okay. You don't need perfect flat land for this. That's why I've not done it perfect, but it will still matter that, you know, you've got relatively evenish terrain. So firstly, like I said, you probably want to build your stone cutter. So I'm going to put a crafting bench, workbench, sorry, right around here, and then I'm going to put my my stone cutter. I need 10 wood, so let me just get 10 wood. Right, so I've got my stone cutter down here. It doesn't matter where you put it, just put it anywhere you want. So now I can actually build in this radius. So I can build stone structures. So to build stone structures, obviously you've got to unlock the recipes. And if you haven't unlocked the recipes, I do recommend that you search up better ways, better pathways to actually find the recipes for yourself. But I'm mainly going to be showing you how to actually build the structure rather than to find how to unlock stone recipes. So firstly, you want to get your hammer and you want to get the stone wall 4x2. So we're going to get this right here, and we're going to place it down. We're going to place two next to each other like that. Place another two next to each other like that. And I suppose it doesn't matter exactly the length in which you're going to build this. This is just going to be a relatively small wall. So I'm going to do in total probably about 2, 4, 6. Let's count that for a minute. So I'm going to do 6 stone walls like this, and this is the maximum I really want to do it. But if you want to do it the length around your base, obviously you'd have to wrap it round and to angle it, which you can do. You can angle the walls, that's no problem at all. So this, I just want to do a relatively flat structure. Now you do need quite a lot of stone for this, so remember to stockpile as much stone as you can. We're then going to get an extra few layers on top like this, and after this is done, this is basically most, if not all of the stone you'll even need for this build. So now that that's done, we're going to make sure we build a little ramp. So again, this is dependent on how exactly you want this to look, but I want there to be a sort of stone ramp. So we're going to put, you can do this with wood, by the way, you don't have to do it with stone. So I'm going to get some stone floor 2x2s, and I'm going to place it at the base all the way to the top like that. So I'm going to do 3 stacked on top of each other. I'm then going to go to the stone stair. I'm going to put it on top of the stone stair like so. There you go. And I'm then going to get a bit more stone and wrap it down from the base. And I'm going to make sure it connects right to the floor, because it keeps breaking if you keep it suspended. It's not like Minecraft, guys, sadly. So I'm going to do it like that. And then I'm going to do the last foundation right here. That's probably going to break, so let me just actually raise the floor. And if you need to do that, obviously just go to the hoe and raise the floor like so. Right, so I'm going to put my final stairway right there, and I will fix that out, up a little bit later, so that I don't have to worry about jumping on top of this. So don't worry about that for now. This is the most basic sort of stairway you can, and you can make that out of wood if you don't have enough stone, which I'd imagine a lot of you guys don't have enough stone right now. So just build that out of wood, regular steps down, and you could have the wooden support beams going up. Okay, for this next bit you need quite a substantial amount of wood, so let's make sure you've already got quite a lot of wood. I've got my little cargo cart there, right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back all the way to the top, and I'm going to make sure I've got these planks. Doesn't matter what orientation you have it. And I'm going to put the 2x2s on top like that. So you can see some stone sticking through a little bit. Looks kind of realistic, a bit murky, a bit, you know, all over the place, like a real battlement kind of would look. And then I'm going to collect a bit more wood so that I've got a nice little stockpile. I'm going to go on each corner of the plank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exactly like so. And I'm going to do another foundation piece, another 2-meter pole on each adjacent sort of foundation, like so. So it's going to look a bit like that. I'm then going to wrap the 2-meter posts all the way to the base, like this, once my stamina regens a little bit. I don't eat anything when I'm building, because I feel like I'm kind of wasting the food, so I don't bother with that. I'm going to do that. As I said, make sure you've got a lot of wood for this, because you'll burn through many stacks of wood. Okay, so you want it looking a bit like that. That's all the base done so far. So I'm just going to get a bit more wood. I'm going to show you how to do the top battlements. Okay, for this next part, you want to get the regular 1-meter posts, and we're going to put them on each foundation 2-meter pole. Just going to extend it by another meter. And that is because we don't want to be smacking our heads on the rooftop each time we enter the actual turret. So the structure, you don't want to be too low down where your camera's all over the place. You want to have a nice length to move across and to fight and to shoot your arrows. So that's pretty good so far. Now once you've done that, go back to your hammer, get the wood beam vertical and put it on each 2-meter pole all the way across like this. Okay, now that's brilliant. So what we're going to do really quickly is light this up, because I know it's going to get quite dark soon, and that's going to be a little bit annoying. Okay, now that that's done, it's up to you with what kind of thatched roof you'd like, but I'm going to go for the 45-degree thatched roof, because I think it gives a bit more of height. So we're going to make sure it fits onto the wooden beams, and you're going to wrap it across like so. And it's going to look a little bit like that. Now, if you want to polish up these edges, of course you can. You can put another wooden beam right here, which is what I'm going to do. Sometimes it looks a bit too much, so we'll have to check out and make sure if we want that exactly. But I think, actually, that might just be okay. So that's how we want it looking so far, guys. A lot like this. Okay, next you want to make sure you get the wood roof cross 26 degrees. And we're going to try and get this. You might need to build some ladders for this. So I'm going to prepare myself, build upwards a little bit, and build some 26-degree crisscrosses. So we're going to try and get that right at the top like that. So it's just on the summit of the rooftop. Get rid of my ladders. I'm then going to do the same on the other side, like so. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Okay, now that's looking pretty cool. Now there is something else you need to do, but I'm just going to quickly repair my hammer. So what we want to do now is get our regular fence, the half walls, and we're going to put them on each post like this to make sure we have some defense against archers or the likes of that. Makes it look a lot nicer. There we go. So we've actually finished the walkway for this, and that's kind of it for the most part for the structure. There is a little more we can actually add. So you see on these crisscrosses, we can actually have the dragon's head like this from either side, and that should make it look even better. So we're going to do that. Okay, so now that we've got the wood for our dragon heads, which is will be 10 fine wood each, we're going to make sure we put the dragon head on each side of the crisscross. So I'd imagine it might be a little bit difficult depending on how low down you are from the tower itself. So I'm just going to try my best to reach, and I've got that on either side, and I'm going to go the same this way. There we go. Now that we've got the dragon heads finished, we want to make sure we have got the actual the stairway up top leveled off, and we want to make we want it looking a little bit nicer. So we want to actually look like it's got some supportive beams across, and it kind of suits in with the environment, with the actual theme of the build. So on each start of the stairway, we want to put a 2-meter beam, like so. And then you want to make sure this one's kind of hidden if it's blended into the environment. But it kind of depends how your build is at this point. So if your build is sticking out a little bit more, obviously make the beam rise a little bit higher than what it is. But for now, that doesn't particularly matter. So we're going to do this across my 1 meter just to save some wood. And here again, dependent with exactly how yours looks, I don't think we need to do too much, because I'm going to actually level the ground and make this wrap down. Okay, now that we've leveled this off, I'm going to actually extend each pole by another meter, like this. So it looks a little bit like that. I'm then going to get the wooden beams that are angled. So you want the ones that, I believe it's this one, it's the 26-degree wooden beam, and you're going to connect it in between each pole, so it is flush with the stone stairway, or whatever wooden stairway you have, or the likes of that. And then after you've done that, that's kind of it. You light up the area and you make sure that's well lit, or you add whatever you'd like, a seagull on top of that already, enjoying the view. And there you go, there's the actual most basic sort of structure you can have around your base. And if you really wanted to, you could in the future, if you have enough supplies, you could go to the likes of a stone arch, and you can actually have, say, on either side, this, and add some detail like that. So you could even knock out these torches, you could have a torch like that, right in the center, on either side for now, because this is sort of the most basic sort of stone wall you could have, really. And you could have it looking something like that if you really wanted to. And yeah, I suppose that does look quite nice. On the other side, you could have it looking like it's supporting the wall even more if you build some of these timber struts, connector to the base like this, to add like it's holding back trolls or anything like that, some creatures, some draugrs, and connected to the floor like that, which kind of looks pretty cool and adds a little bit more aesthetic to the build like that. And I think that actually looks pretty cool. Like, you could even have a sort of something like this with the beams behind. Make sure it's rimmed with this. I use this as sort of an area where you hide chests, or another part of the battlements, something along those lines. It adds a bit of depth to the build. You could even have it all the way to the ground, and it could just be for storage, it could be for carts, it could be for anything like that. I'm actually going to convert this fully into a little room, so that this is where, say, like the recruits will go, or the Vikings who are just guarding the wall. They would sit here and they would go into here if they needed supplies. I could turn this into a little room with the floor, so it could be something like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect because you want it slightly murky, you want it slightly muddy, because obviously it's a battlement tower and you don't want it like pristine like you would do with like a Viking hall or something along those lines. But you could have like a chest, you could have beds in here. So that's actually what we're going to do. We're going to build like a nice little bed here. This could be for one of the guards. You could have a chest next to him for his personal belongings like that. And you could rim this off with a nice doorway. So for the doorway, what we're actually going to do is we're going to put this wooden wall, which is the 45-degree wood wall right here next to the cross, and we're going to put it on top like this. So this will fit with the doorway, which will go right there like that, so we can actually walk in and out of this small little area for the guardsmen. This particular hole doesn't matter too much. You could always patch this. we're actually going to put the 26-degree wall right at the base of the structure right here. It should just fit if you put it right next to this angled wood, like that. That should fit right there nicely. He's almost got like a little window, a little, you know, vent hole. And what we're going to do here also, just to finish off the side of the wall, is to build some spikes. And the spikes we're going to click to the wall like this, just to give it a bit more texture. And we're probably going to do this on the other side, like that. Like this, sorry, clip that onto the wall. And there you have it, guys. That is sort of the most basic kind of wall you could have. You could even rim all this with the spikes if you really want to. I don't want to do that right now because I want to keep in theme with my base. But for now, that's what we can have, and that's kind of what I've settled with this house, and I really do like the way this looks, and I think it suits perfectly with my base. So this is what I've settled with. I'm gonna keep to this. I'm probably gonna put another torch there like that, just to keep more of some lighting. And this is what we've ended up with. This is the most basic sort of wall you can have around your base, with some finesse, a little bit of flair to it when it comes to stone structure. If you want regular fence gates and fence walls, then obviously you could just stick to the most basic kind, which is something like that. Something like this, sorry, with the 2x2, and on either side you want the spike fence round like that, and something like a gate. But this is what we've settled with this build. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you've learned something new with these kinds of builds, and hope you're enjoying Valheim. It's such a great game. I lose hours and hours on this game. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Peace.